So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdu li waliyihi was salatu li ahliha amma ba'd. So we are here in the story of how the king fell in love with a sick handmaiden and made plans to restore her health, right? So before I go into the story, I'm gonna just show you on the whiteboard what is going on here. Give you some context so you know what is going on here. Huh? So I'm just gonna connect my tab and we'll continue from there. Right, so here we are, the king and the handmaiden. So let's see what's going on in the story. So we have here the king, right? Then we have the handmaiden, the lady, beautiful lady. And then we have the goldsmith. Gold smith. All right. And then we have here the physician. I'm going to call him the, let's just say the spiritual doctor. Spiritual doctor. Okay, so these are the four characters in the story, right? Now, what goes on in the story is as follows. We're going to go through the story, but I just want you to have some context of what's going to go on. So, the king here, this king, falls in love with this girl here, with this lady here, but he doesn't know that this lady here loves someone else. She's in love with the goldsmith, right? And now to find out, so the king sees the handmaiden, falls in love with her, buys her, right? Buys her, pays her master money, buys her, and when she comes to the king's palace, she gets sick, right? And now the king tries every means and he hires all the best doctors and the best physicians and the best of everything, and tries every method to get this lady to restore her health, right? But her health gets worse and worse with all the treatments and with all the doctors and the physicians trying their different treatments on her. The maiden gets more sick instead of getting cured. So then finally the king gives up and he realizes that there's no one that can sort my problem except Allah, So he goes to the masjid and he starts crying there and making dua to Allah. And then finally after dua and after crying and all those time he spends in the masjid, he falls asleep. In his sleep, he is shown a spiritual doctor, a spiritual healer, right? So this is where the spiritual doctor is shown to him in the dream. And in his dream, he is shown that he should go home and the spiritual doctor will come to him the next day. So when the spiritual doctor comes, he examines the maiden and sees where the problem is. And he doesn't tell the king what is the handmaiden's actual sickness. So she's not physically sick, right? Physically, her body is fine, but she is spiritually sick, right? The sickness she has is a spiritual sickness, is a sickness of the heart, right? So now to treat that, the spiritual doctor tells the king that he must go and get this goldsmith because without him, we cannot treat this girl. So the king goes to look for this goldsmith and gets him into the palace. And then later on, we'll find out in the story that this girl, this handmaiden, was actually in love with this goldsmith, right? But the king didn't know that. The king never knew that. And because it was a heart sickness, sickness of the heart, so only the spiritual doctor could treat it. And so he treats the ailment by telling the king that give the handmaiden, marry the handmaiden to the locksmith, to the goldsmith, right? If you want the girl, the lady to be cured, marry her off to the goldsmith. So the king is like, I love her and I bought her for myself. Now you want me to marry her off to this person here? What's going on? You know, I want her to be cured. What kind of a cure are you giving? So the spiritual doctor says, do you want her to get cured or not? So the king says, yes, I want her to get cured. And so the spiritual doctor says, do you trust me? So the king says, I trust you. So anyways, the handmaiden is married to this goldsmith and they live happily. And because she gets her love back, right? Sorry for my heart there. She gets her love back. So her heart comes at ease and she gets her health back and everything. And after she gets her health back and she's healthy and well, the spiritual doctor, this person here, prepares a potion to give to the goldsmith, right? So slowly killing him, right? So the goldsmith gets weaker and weaker by the day, and then he starts looking ugly and starts looking deteriorated. So when the lady sees that her husband, the one whom she was in love with, is now no longer what she thought he was, and he looks so ugly now. So her love for him starts to decrease, right? And suddenly she starts hating this man, right? And then eventually this man gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and he dies. So when the goldsmith dies, then the handmaiden goes back to the king, and they lived happily ever after. Now, that is the story that Mullah Room is going to tell you. But why he's telling you the story? It's not to entertain you. It's not for entertainment. Everything here, every person here represents something. So the king is something, the handmaiden. So this is just a story, right? The characters here represent something in your life, right? And Maulana Room wants you to understand those things. So the king, I'm just gonna make it easy for you to understand the story because I'm gonna go through the story very fast, right? So I'm just gonna erase the board here and just tell you quickly what are these characters, right? So I'm gonna use blue now. King is you. When I say you, I mean Ruh, right? Then we have the handmaiden, the beautiful lady that the king is in love with, is ego. Also, you can say false self. Also, you can say, make the writing a little smaller here. You can say greed. Desire, not desire. I would say lust. That's all the handmaiden, right? The goldsmith in the story is the dunya, and uh, yeah, basically dunya, the goods of the world, the beauty of the world, all the deception of the world, right? Let's just say dunya is fine, is good enough for that. And the spiritual healer, the spiritual doctor, I'll just say S doctor, is the guide. The guide, also you can say, is too small now. The guide, also the spiritual doctor, is the Quran. Right? The Quran, the guide, and the spiritual doctor can be anything, basically, any of those in that category. So here is what's going on. Okay? So the king in the story is you, the real you, the Ruh, right? You, the Ruh, you are being overtaken by your ego. Okay? The ego. So you fall in love with the ego, the beautiful lady, right? And because your ego is taken over you and it's running all your softwares, the false self, your false identity, is taken over you, right? And greed has overtaken you, and lust has overtaken you. So the real you, which is the Ruh, you are lost and you are hidden behind these false barriers. So all these things have made you to not see your Ruh, the real you, the real self, your real self. So your real self is hidden behind these things. So you are the king. You have fallen in love with this handmaiden, which is the ego, the false self, the greed, and the lust. You have fallen in love with these things, right? Self-praise, self-personality, building your empires, and all those things. So self-praise, false personality, greedy for things, and lusting behind different things. So that is represented by the handmaiden here. Okay. So you have forgotten your real self, and you have become this fake person, and this fake person has overtaken your real identity, right? Now, the problem is you are trying to treat this false self with different types of things, but you don't know the real problem of this false self. What is the real sickness here? The real sickness is this ego and false self and greed and lust and handmaiden here is actually in love with the dunya. Right? It does not, this, where's the highlighter here? This thing here, your lust, your greed, your false self, your ego, the handmaiden, does not love you. You are in love with her, but she is in love with dunya. So the ego is in love with dunya. The false self loves dunya. Your greed loves dunya. Your lust loves dunya. The worldly things, the worldly pleasures, the temporary things, right? It cannot see beyond that. So you in love with her, she's in love with him, right? Now you don't know that she's in love with him. You don't know, because these things have hidden all the reality from you. So you can't see that this handmaiden who is getting sick and is not happy in life and is not content and is suffering in life, trying all different things to find happiness in life, you don't realize that this thing that you are in love with is actually in love with something else, right? So the only way someone can make you realize that this ego of yours, this fake self of yours, this greed of yours, this lust of yours is not in love with you, is not benefiting you in any way. It does not want to get you anywhere in life. It will never get you happiness because it is in love with dunya, right? The worldly things, the worldly pleasures, the worldly accumulations and worldly gains, right? The only way that you can realize that this handmaiden is in love with dunya, is in love with this goldsmith here, is if you get the guide. You need the guide to show you the reality of things, that this is not you, and this one, you love her, she doesn't love you, she loves this one here, right? And if you want her to love you, then you need to get rid of this one here. But to get rid of this one here, you need to trick this one here. How are you going to trick this one to stop loving this one, and so that it can fall in love with you, right? That's the thing. The guide is so important. Without the guide, you are lost, right? And the guide is here. The guide is the Quran. The guide is the Ahlullah, the people of the Quran, Ahlul Quran. And the guide are your your teachers, your spiritual guides, right? And people who come into your life to take you out of, to basically free you from the ego and the false self and the greed and the lust, and to free you from this fake thing that you are in, and to show you that you are really a ruh, you are a free person, free of all those false identities that you've been carrying around, right? And get you free from dunya, and gets this dunya away from you and your heart, and makes you free and brings you back to your real self, which is your ruh. And then the ruh, where's the marker here? The ruh goes back and connects with, yes, you guessed that correct, goes back and connects with source. And that's when you find ultimate peace, contentment, and happiness. Because this is where the ruh wants to go, back to the source. But you are stuck in this things, and in these things here, and all of these things are standing in the way between you and source. Yeah? So the spiritual guide, spiritual doctor, the guide, the Quran, and all the messengers of Allah, they are all there to basically take you straight from here, straight to source, and cut you off from all of these things that are standing in your way. Right? So that's what the whole story is going to be all about, right? So I gave you the context of the story. I gave you what the characters stand for. I gave you what the moral of the story is. And I gave you basically the whole thing, right? Now, let's go through the story and see how Mullah narrates it and what he wants you to learn from there. And also, in the middle of the story, he will bring about certain points, like he will divert from the story. Whilst he's talking about something, he will go to another point and he will show you something else, right? He will tell you many, many things during the story, important points that he wants you to pick up on. I call them golden nuggets. So as he's telling you the story, in the story, he will tell you some golden advices. He will give you some golden advices and some golden nuggets. So don't miss them. Keep an eye open for them. And as we're going along, I will show you what is going on. Right. Right. So I'm going to go to the story now. Okay. So, right. So let's continue with the Masnavi of the Arabic one. And see if we can find any missing couplets. So I'm going to open this in a different window. Okay, let's open it here so we can get to see what it is. So I'm going to open this offline so we can get to see it from there directly. So I'm going to share it on this thing. All right, so this is the Arabic one, the Arabic Masnavi. It's the first time I'm opening it, so I haven't gone through it. So I'm just going to skip to the main Masnavi itself, where the Masnavi starts. Okay, so here is where it starts. Right. Okay, yeah, so this is where it starts. So this is the Arabic Masnavi, in the translation of the Farsi into Arabic. And let's see if there's any extra couplets here. So استمع إلى هذا الناي يأخذ في الشكاية. So listen to this flute, this reed, right? Taking a complaint or lamenting, complaining. ومن الفروقات يمضي في الحكاية. And it is narrating to you a tale of separations, right? Saying that منذ أن كان من الغاب اقتلاعي. Since they cut me off from the reed bed. ضج الرجال والنساء في صوت التياعي. Men and women have lamented with me in unison. أبتغي صدرا يمزقه الفراق. I seek a bosom that is torn by severance, right? A person who has been torn by severance and separations and his heart broken, right? That's the kind of person I'm looking for. كي أبحث شرح آلام الاشتياق. So that I can convey to that person what it means to be separated from the beloved. Then he says, كل من يبقى بعيدا عن أصوله لا يزال يروم أيام وصاله. Anyone who is separated from his source wishes the time that it was in unison with it and united with it. Right? Then he says, نائحا صرت على كل شهود. I presented my lament to all people, different types of people. وقرين and different type of friends. I became a friend للشقي والسعيد, to the happy people and to the sad people. Let's see if I can use a different. a different arrow here. Okay, I don't have a choice, much choices here. All right, let's continue. نائحا صرت على كل شهود وقرينا للشقي والسعيد. Right? ظن كل امرئ أن صار رفيقي. Everyone became my friend according to his own ظن. لكنه لم يبحث من داخلي عن أسراري. But they did not seek my secrets from within me. So they became my friends out of their own accord. None sought my secrets from within me. وليس سري ببعيد عن نواحي. My secret is not from far from my nawah, from my lament, from my songs, from my notes. لكن العين والأذن قد حرمتا هذا النور. But the eye and the ear are deprived from this light. They cannot see it. It's not in the physical senses. Right? Then he says, Rumi, وليس الجسد مستورا عن الروح ولا الروح مستورة عن الجسد. Body is not veiled from soul, soul is not veiled from body. لكن أحدا لم يؤذن له بمعاينة الروح. But no one has been given permission to see the soul. لم يؤذن له, there is no way that you can see the ruh, the spirit. Now, إن هذا الأنين نار وليس هواء. This أنين, this song or this sound of the reed, it is fire, right? It is not wind, it is not air. وكل من ليست لديه هذه النار ليكن هباء. So anyone who does not have this fire in him, may he be haba, may he be naught, may he not exist. Right? Destruction for him. Now, what is the fire in the reed? What is that anin? What is that fire? وَنَارُ الْعِشْقِ هِيَ الَّتِي نَشَبَتْ فِي النَّارِ. It is the fire of love that is in the reed, right? وَغِلْيَانُ الْعِشْقِ هو الذي سرى في الخمر. And it is the passion of love that is in the wine. It is the passion of love that is in the wine. So I see here also there is many couplets that are missing. This is same like the English one we read. So the couplets before it are missing to give you context of this couplet here. Right? So this line, number 10, there are two couplets before it that are missing to give you context of this couplet. So I was just wanted to see if they included it here in the Arabic, but I see that no, it is missing. Anyways, let me complete the whole song of the reed here in Arabic. والناي صديق لكل من افترق عن أليفه. The ney, the flute, the reed is the friend of everyone who is a comrade of everyone who is separated from his alif, his beloved or his companion, right? His family, his close ones. وقد بزقت أنغامه الحجب عنا. And its notes have pierced the veils on our hearts. So the notes of the reed, the song of the reed or the cry of the reed, it has torn apart all the veils that were on our hearts. Then Rum asks a question: فَمَنْ رَأَى كَالنَّايِ سُمًّا وَتِرْيَاقًا. Who has seen a antidote, a sum, an antidote? Sum is a poison, and tiryaq is an antidote. فَمَنْ رَأَى كَالنَّايِ سُمًّا وَتِرْيَاقًا. Who has seen a poison and an antidote like the reed? Right? And I explain, the reed can be a poison if you don't listen to it and you ignore it, right? It will take you to eternal punishments. It can be a healing power. It can be a antidote. It can be a shifa if you listen to it and you make it your friend. Now, وَمَنْ رَأَى كَالنَّايِ نَجِيًّا وَمُشْتَاقًا. So the reed, who has seen a more beloved more passionate person and more longing person and loving person, loving thing like the reed. So the reed is your best friend and is longing to meet you. Yeah? Then Mulana Rums continues and says, إن الناي يتحدث عن الطريق المليء بالدماء. The nai, the reed talks about a way full of blood. Right? It's not an easy path, as I explained to you before. والناي هو الذي يروي قصص عشق المجنون. And the nai talks about the stories and narrates the stories of the love of Majnun. And I explained to you who is Majnun and what is the ishq of Majnun. وهذا الوعي محرم إلا على من فقد وعيه. This understanding can only be given to the one, can only understand it, the one who has been separated from his beloved, or his something that he desires. So the one who is separated from his desire or from the person he loves can understand this pain. So this pain can only be understood by the one who has lost something in his life and knows what it feels like. كما أنه this actual translation here is a bit out of context here. It's like the thing is that the actual Farsi here was only to the senseless is the sense confided. So هذا الوعي, I don't know how they use the word وعي here. They could have used the word sir here. وهذا السر محرم إلا على من فقد senses, you can say إحساسه. So هذا السر محرم إلا على من فقد إحساسه. That makes more sense, right? The sense is only confided to the senseless. So the one who loses his senses, he gets out of his physical senses, right? He is the only one that can actually understand this sense, the sense of the spirit, the sense of the ruh. Okay? So it's a bit technical here, the words wa'i and wa'ihu. كما أنه لا مشتر للسان إلى الأذن. The tongue has no customer except the ear, and I explained that to you. لقد صارت الأيام تسعى في أحزاننا بغير وقت. Our time, our days have moved, right, in sadness, and we have spent too much time in worry and sadness. وأصبحت قرينة للأحزان والمحن. And we have become friends of sadness and worries and anxieties and stress and all these things. Then Rumi says, فإن مضت الأيام فقل لها اذهبي. If the days are going, tell them, go. No, ولا خوف, no fear, don't worry. If you have passed time and you have wasted your life and you haven't found the beloved yet, don't worry about what has gone. What has gone, has gone. ولتبقى أنت, you remain يا من لا مثيل لك في الطهر, the one who has no similar in purity. Meaning the soul, as long as your soul remains, right? It doesn't matter how much time has passed. It's never too late. وَلَقَدْ مَلَّ هَذَا الْمَاءُ مَنْ لَيْسَ بِحُوتِهِ. This, the one who is not a fish, is sated with water, right? وَطَوِيلٌ يَوْمُ مَنْ لَا قُوتَ لَهُ مِنْهُ. And long is the day of the one who does not have his food for the day. Then he says, إن أحوال الكمال إن أحوال الكمل كمل يكمل كمالا. إن أحوال الكمال العارفين. إن أحوال الكمال, the al supposed to be dropped here. إن أحوال كمال العارفين لا يدركها فج ساذج. The fajjun thadij, the raw, cannot understand the state of the ripe. So the kamalul arifin, the perfection of those who know the read and who know the source, right? Their condition cannot be understood by a person who is raw and he is not ripe, right? So the raw cannot understand the state of the ripe. So I'm reading this for the first time in Arabic, and I can already see these mistakes here, right? The reason why I can make out these mistakes is because I know the original text. It's in Farsi, right? So I know the original, so I can make out where there is mistakes, right? But now, if you just reading on your own, you will never know there's mistakes here. Okay. إن أحوال كمال العارفين لا يدركها فج ساذج ومن ثم ينبغي أن نقصر الكلام. And because of that reason, Rumi says, my kalam must be short. فسلاما, so all those who are finding it hard to understand what I have to say, goodbye, salam. Okay. Let's continue. ولتحطم القيد ولتكن حرا يا بني. Oh my beloved son, break the chains, break the locks, and become free. فحتى تظل عبدا للفضة وعبدا للذهب. How long are you going to stay a slave to silver and a slave to gold? Right? وإنك إن تصب البحر في إناء, and if you pour the ocean into a tumbler, into a bucket, into a container, فكم يسع? How much can that container hold? نصيبا يكفيك ليوم واحد. Only a day's portion. وإن آنية أعين الأحاديصين لم تمتلئ قط. And the container of the eye of the greedy person, his container is never full. لم تمتلئ قط. Never gets full. وما لم يقنع الصدف لا يمتلئ بالدر. If the صدف, if the shell does not content itself with one drop of rain, لا يمتلئ بالدر, it can never be filled with pearls. وكل من مزق ثوبه من عشق ما, and anyone whose cloak is torn, by love, right? Whoever's cloak is torn by love, by this mighty ishq, mighty love, right? Pure love. فقد برئ تماما من الحرص ومن كل العيوب. He becomes free completely from all greed and from all defects and all sicknesses. Now he says and addresses ishq. I told you Rumi was speaking, switches context. So here it is, he's switching context. ولتسعد إذن يا أيها العشق الطيب, right? Hail, O beautiful, O pure love, right? ولتسعد, how fortunate, how good, right? For you, O pure love, you are so good for us, right? يا هوسنا يا هوسنا يا طبيبا لكل عللنا, right? You are our cure, you are our physician for all our ailments. يا دواء لكبريائنا وعن جهيتنا, and the cure for our arrogance and our greed. يا من أنت لنا بمثابة أفلاطون وجالينوس. Oh, the one who is like equivalent to us. You are the equivalent for us, the equivalent of Aflatun, Plato, and Jalinus and Galen, two physicians, right? لقد سمى الجسد الترابي من العشق حتى الأفلاك. This earthly body has risen to the aflak, to the horizons, right? To the faraway horizons, to the heavens, because of the ishq. Ishq is the one that takes you, this earthly body, to the heavens. وحتى الجبل بدأ في الرقط وخفة. And even the mountains started dancing and it became a way. أيها العاشق, O lover, لقد حل العشق بروح الطور سيناء. It is love that took over the Mount Sinai. نعم. فمثل الطور وخر موسى صائقا فثمل الطور. The mountain started to dance. وخر موسى صائقا. And Musa عليه السلام fell in a swoon, fell unconscious. وأنا لو كنت قرينا للحبيب, and if I were joined to the beloved, لكنت كالناي, I too like the reed, أبوح بما ينبغي البوح به. I would narrate to you what all there is to be narrated. لكن كل من افترق عمن يتحدثون لغته, but the one who is separated from those who speak his language, ظل بلا لسان, he remains without a tongue, without any tongue. وإن كان لديه ألف صوت, even though he may have 100 songs, 100 songs. Now Rumi continues, والورد عندما مضى أوانه وماتت روضته. And the rose, when its time has ended, when it has faded, and the garden has become empty, right? Has become dark and empty and dry, right? And discarded. فلن تسمع البلبل بعد فلن تسمع البلبل بعد يروي سيرته. You will not hear the bulbul, the nightingale, singing its song and its story there. Okay, and I explain this. In the end, Rumi says, وَالْكُلُّ مَعْشُوقٌ, all, the beloved is all there is. وَالْكُلُّ مَعْشُوقٌ, right? The beloved is all. All is the beloved, or the beloved is all. There is nothing else. وَالْعَاشِقْ مُجَرَّدْ حِجَابٍ, Ashik is only a veil. This lover is just a veil. وَالْمَعْشُوقُ حَيٌّ, Ma'shuq is the living, right? Ma'shuq is living. وَالْعَاشِقْ إِلَى مَوْتٍ, Ashik is dead, doesn't exist. ولو لم يقم العشق برعايته, if love has no care for him, for the beloved, يبقى كطائر بلا جناح, he is left like a bird without wings. ويل له, destruction for him. فكيف يكون لي علم بما أمامي وبما ورائي, how should I have any knowledge of what is in front of me and what is behind me? إن لم يكن نور حبيبي أمامي وورائي, if the nur of my beloved is not in front of me and behind me. إن العشق يريد أن يصدر مني هذا الشعر. Ishq wants me to narrate to you this secret. But إن لم تكن المرآة منبئة فماذا تكون? But if your mirror cannot reflect, I want to shine on you this secret. The love secret, right? I want to shine it on you, the light of the love. But if your mirror cannot reflect the light, فماذا تكون? Then what's going to happen? What can we do? أتدري لماذا لا تنبئ مرآتك? Do you know why your mirror does not reflect? ذلك لأن الصدأ لم يجل عن وجهها. That is because the rust has not been removed from its surface. So that is the song of the reed in Arabic for you. So I said I will do the Arabic for the song of the reed only, just to give you a taste of the Arabic part. But as you can see, even with the Arabic, if you don't have the original Farsi in front of you, you can misunderstand what is being said, right? So there are some mistakes here also in the Arabic translation, and it's a human error, so it's fine, it happens. So we're going to go back to the original Even here in the Arabic, I have noticed that a lot of couplets are missing. A lot of couplets are missing. Right. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna open the Urdu one. You can still see my screen, yeah? Now I'm going to just give you the ones that are missing, that you have missed out on from the Arabic as well as the English. Okay, so this one you have learned. Sirre min az nale min dur nist, lek jishmu gosh ra'an nur nist. This one you have learned. Tanzu jan jazutan mastur nist, lek kisra di ja dastur nist. This one you have learned also. So, बांसुरी में आने जाने वाली हवा आग है हवा नहीं. So the voice, the sound that is coming from the reed, it is fire, not air, right? This is the one you read. And the one who does not have this fire, may he not exist, okay? Then the one, the couplet that comes after it is this one here. इश्क की आग है जो बांसुरी में लगी है, right? It is the passion of love that is in the reed, the fire of love that is in the reed. इश्क का जोश है जो शराब में आया है. It is the passion of love that is in the wine, right? Now, it continues. बांसुरी उसकी साथी है जो यार से कटा हुआ है. So the reed is the friend of the one who is separated from his friend. उसके रागों ने हमारे दिल के पर्दे फाड़ दिए. The notes of the reed has blown up, has torn apart all the veils on our heart. So this line you have learned. Let's see, Bansuri. This one you have learned. Now, this is what's missing from your English as well as your Arabic, as well as the Farsi online one. So this is in the original Masnavi here. So this is the one missing. This is the one I want to give you. So Rumi says here, बांसुरी की तरह गोया हम दो मुंह रखते हैं. This is a very important point. He's saying that just like the reed, the flute, right? So the flute has two mouths, right? So one way you blow into the reed and the other way the air comes out from the reed. So one way the air goes into the reed and the other is where the air comes out from the reed, right? So two holes or two mouths. Rumi says that just like the reed, we also have two mouths, or you can say two holes, right? एक मुंह उसके लबों में छुपा हुआ है. One mouth is hidden in the lips of the beloved. So the reed, one part of it is in the mouth of the beloved, right? एक मुंह रोता हुआ तुम्हारी जानिब है, and the other mouth of the reed is the one that you can see or feel and experience on your side, right? So the reed, the ruh, is got two mouths. So I'm just going to explain this on a whiteboard to give you context of this line and why it's so important. Okay, so I'm just going to share the whiteboard quickly. so you can get context of what's going on here. Because this is not in the English, it's not even in the Arabic, it's not even in the online Farsi. This is only in the original Masnavi, the one I have here in front of me, the one which you can't even read, and it's in Urdu, so you don't understand Urdu, so you won't understand it. So, anyways, so here's what Rumi is trying to say. So let me draw the flute. Okay. Now the flute has sa, re, ga, ma, pa, ta, ni, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, ta, ni, sa. Okay. And here is the mouth of the reed. Right. So what Rumi is saying here, I'm going to use a different color. This part of the reed is in the lips of where is the text? Source. And this part of the reed, where the sound comes out from, is the one that you can hear. It's the one that is screaming to you, but you don't want to listen. Ruh. Highlighter. So this part, the reed has two mouths, right? One mouth here, which we can hear and which we can experience, and one mouth which we can't see, right? We can't see. It is in the lips of source. Now, what Rumi is saying to you is that the sound you are getting from here, don't think that the sound is coming from here. The sound is not from here. The sound is actually from the one who is blowing into this reed. So the nafkh is coming from source. He is blowing into the reed, and you are hearing the other part, which is coming out, which is the ruh. Do you get how deep that is? How deep that is? Now, obviously, now he's using the example of the reed to convey to you a secret here. He can't say it in physical words. You can't understand it also in physical words, right? So you can only understand it in an example way. And so Rumi just uses an example to convey to you what is going on, right? So he says, just like the reed, we, me and you, we have two mouths. One mouth is hidden. We can't see it. We can't see where the ruh is and where it's coming from. It's hidden in the lips of the source, right? We can only experience this sound that is coming out from this side. That is our ruh. We can only feel its presence in our body, right? Because it is there, that's why we are alive, right? Now Rumi will continue and say that those who can't see, right? They can't even see this hole. Forget about seeing this hole. They can't even see this lips, this mouth, right? Because this is the scientists, they say there's no such thing as a spirit also. So they can't see nothing here. For them, nothing exists, right? Then you get other people who say that, okay, we accept the ruh, and we understand that it's the thing that is keeping us alive, right? But they don't accept that there is a source, or there is a creator, or there is a Allah, or there is absolute, right? Rumi is saying only those who are blessed with sight know that the sound that is coming from this part of the reed is actually not from this part here, it's actually from the one who is singing and blowing into the reed. It is his the sound here is actually not from the reed itself, it's actually from the source. The source is blowing into it. And so you are getting the voice. You are getting an experience of the source himself. And this example is so deep, so deep, so deep. I want you to just listen to it today and just don't worry about whether you can understand it or it makes sense, or you can grasp it. If you can't, it's fine. But I just want you to give you a picture of what is going on, right? So it will take you some time to grasp, right? And let me see if I can make it easy for you. I'm going to share a picture with you to make you understand a little better, okay? So if you're with me so far, just type a quick yes. Resume recording. So whatever is coming out from these other holes here, from these other holes, is the one that is being blown into here. And the one who is playing this flute is the one who is blowing into this reed. Okay, so let's go back to the Rumi. So he's saying, बांसुरी की तरह गोया हम दो मुंह रखते हैं. We also have two mouths like the reed, right? एक मुंह उसके लबों में छुपा हुआ है. One mouth is hidden in the lips of the beloved. Okay? एक मुंह रोता हुआ तुम्हारे जानिब है. One mouth is crying and it is towards your side. You can hear and feel the experience of the reed of the ruh. आसमां में शोर और गुल मचाए हुए हैं. This second mouth of the reed is the one that has spread all this noise in the heavens and in the earth, right? The whole noise is from the second mouth. But लेकिन जिसे आंख मुयस्सर है वो जानता है. But the one who has the eye, the real eye, the eye of the heart, right? The inner eye, the sixth sense, the intuition, right? Whatever you may refer to it as, whoever has the insight, basira, basara, basar, whoever has that, he can see. जिससे आंख मुयस्सर है वो जानता है. He knows very well कि इस सिरे की आह फरियाद उसी जानिब से है. That the noise coming out from this side of the reed is actually the noise from the other side of the person who is blowing into the reed. So, وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى, right? You did not throw when you threw, but Allah is the one who threw. So our actions, we think we are doing them. It's not our actions. Allah is the one actually doing everything. We are just a representation of His manifestation, right? The only thing we have is the choice to believe that He is the one playing the flute, or we can choose to live in an illusion that, no, we are playing the flute, right? So it's up to you. فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. Whoever wants, he can believe this reality, and whoever wants, he can deny this reality, right? So Allah has given you the choice. The only thing you have is the choice to accept the truth or to just ignore it and close your eyes and look the other way and ignore the truth. That's the choice Allah has left you with. Now, even if you zoom in here, it's not going to make any difference to you because you are not going to understand what is the English or what is the Farsi here or the Urdu here. Anyways, continuing, he says this is what's missing from your English, your Arabic, and your online Farsi also. इस बांसुरी की आवाज से की फूंकों की वजह से, राइट, इस बांसुरी की आवाज है उसी की फूंकों की वजह से है. He's saying that this reed is making a noise because the one who is behind it is blowing into it. That's why you are feeling this energy in your body. You're feeling this life in your body, right? Had the source not blown into it, you wouldn't exist. रूह का शोर और गुल उसकी तंबीहात की वजह से है. This ruh of yours, the spirit, the soul of yours it's got activity because of his orders and his instructions. Okay? Now, महरम इन होश जुज बेहोश नीस्त, right? The sense is only confided to the senseless, that whatever Rumi is saying here, only the one who is senseless, who is out of his senses, right? And he is listening with the ear of the heart, he will understand what's going on. And he will be able to understand what's the reed going, and the one blowing in the reed, what's the reality here, okay? Just like the ear has no customer except the tongue has no customer except the ear. And this is also missing from your online English, Arabic, and your Farsi online also. This couplet is missing. बांसुरी की फरियाद का अगर कोई नतीजा न होता, if the reed, right, the cry of the reed, had it not have any results, had it not have any result or effect, right? So if the reed didn't exist, then बांसुरी दुनिया को शक्कर से न भरती. Then this world, we would not experience anything sweet. So, but because we can experience sweetness and happiness and contentment and love, right, and harmony, that is a sign to tell you that the reed exists, the ruh is there. Then this line is also missing, this couplet. Okay, this couplet is there. I'm going to skip that one. That one is also there. That one is also there. This couplet is also there. Darniya hale pukhta hish khan, pasukhan gota payat wassalam. Right, that one is there. Yeah, now this is the couplet that's missing. Okay, this is the one before the wine couplet, right? Sharab josh mein hamare josh ki muhtaj hai. For the wine to show its passion, to show its fire, it requires our passion. Now listen what Rumi is saying. This one is a bit of a deep one. For the wine to show its power, the wine requires our passion to show its passion. Meaning, without our passion, the wine is passionless. The wine cannot do nothing on its own. If you want the wine to show passion, you have to drink the wine for the wine to show its passion. It means that the wine requires your passion to show its passion. Wow. Subhanallah. If you get that, if you get that, you get it. If you don't, I don't know how to explain it to you. Anyway, so the wine requires our craziness, our intensity, our love, our passion to show its passion, right? So the wine is in need of your passion to show its passion. Now, why he's telling you this? He wants to tell you something else. This is the point he wants you to understand. आसमान गर्दिश में हमारे होश का कैदी है. For the universe to show you its magnificence, it requires your consciousness. If you are conscious, then the world exists and the universe exists. If you're not conscious, then the world does not exist, right? For the world to show itself, to show its existence and its magnificence, it requires your consciousness, right? Let me explain it in simple terms first. Say you are sleeping, right? When you are asleep, the world can be raining outside, it can be sunny outside, it can be happiness outside, flowers may be blooming, fish may be swimming in the water, and beautiful things, kids are playing, happiness is happening, love is being shared, people are enjoying eating and loving each other and embracing each other, and all happy things are happening. But you don't know none of it because your senses are not, you are not in your senses. So for the world to show you its power, its magnificence, and its whatever is happening in it, it requires you to be conscious. If you are non-conscious or you are unconscious, you will pass the world and the whole universe, and it will not make any sense to you. So the world requires your senses, you to be in your senses for it to show you what is happening. Okay? So the reason why he's telling you this is the next line is going to explain. So here, Sharab Josh mein hamare josh ki muhtaj hai. The wine requires our passion to show its passion, right? The world requires our consciousness to show you its power, right? Because if you are not conscious, you can't see its power. The power of the universe is powerless, right? Because if you can't see it, you can't experience it, then it can't show you anything. It's like it's not there. Now look at the next slide. This couplet is missing also. Rumi is saying, शराब हमसे मस्त हुई ना कि हम उससे. Wine became fervorous, right, or full of passion because of us. It is us who made the wine show its passion. Because if the wine did not go in us, we would never know that wine has passion and has fire and has this effect that it has, right? So he says here, Sharab hamse mast hui. This wine became must, became intense, and became this trance, and became passionate because of us, not the other way around. Not the other way around. We didn't become drunk or passionate or full of love because of the wine. No, that's wrong. The wine became passionate because of us, not us who became passionate because of the wine. And he comes to the final point and he says that just like that, jism hamari wajah se paida hua. This body that you are in was created for your ruh, right? Jism hamari wajah se paida hua. The body was created for us. Hum uske liye nahi. We were not created for the body. The body was created for you. You were not created for this body. So why are you living only for this body? Your whole morning to the evening is only roti kapda makan, to get bread, to get shelter, to get food, and all of these things. You are the whole time worried about the body, the body, the body, the body. No, the body must be in peace. I must have a good house. I must have a good bed. I must have a nice car. I must have a comfortable chair. I must have a comfortable, this. I must have fans in my house. I must have air conditioning in my house. I must have luxury in my house. All the things, all your efforts, or all your concentrations are on the body. Rumi is saying, what's wrong with you? This body was created for you. You were not created for this body. So why are you 24 hours slaving behind this body, right? Worried about this body. This body is in pain. This body is suffering. This body has got this problem. This body needs this treatment. This body needs this luxury. This body needs this bed. This body needs this car. This body needs this. Your whole existence is for the body. What's wrong with you? You are not created for the body. The body was created for you. So it should be serving you, not you serving it. Whew, mic drop. Just absorb that. Ah, too deep. Too deep, Rumi. Too deep. Yeah. Ah, I'll give you a few moments to absorb that deeply. Now, Rumi is intense. Rumi is deep. He says here, this couplet is also missing. And this is the one of the most famous couplets of Masnavi. Right? He says, Barsimai rast har kas cheer neest, tu'maya har murg ka injir neest. He says that सच्ची बात समझने पर और सुनने पर हर शख्स कादिर नहीं. That to understand and to listen to the words or the secrets, right? Understanding and listening to the secrets and the realities is not a cup of tea for everyone. So not everyone can hear the secrets and understand. We can't hear you. Can you hear me now? Can everyone else hear me? I was silent for a moment because I wanted you to absorb what I just said. If you can hear me, type a quick yes. Oh. Yes, everyone can hear me, alhamdulillah. Now, one of the main verses of Masnavi. Barsimai rast har kas cheer neest. To listen to the secrets, right? Har kas cheer neest. Not everyone has the capacity to listen to the secrets and to understand the secret things. So not everyone can understand what is being said here, what is Rumi trying to say here, right? So not everyone has the capacity to listen to what is being said here. to the secrets being mentioned here. And then he gives an example. Tu'ma harmurka injir neist. So injir is actually fig. Watini wa zaytun, teen, fig. Fig is a very, 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 very powerful fruit, right? Every bird would love to eat fig, but not every bird can digest fig. تعمى هرمرك injir neist. تعمى هرمرك injir neist. Injir is not the food of every small bird. If you want to digest fig, you must become a bird who is capable of eating fig, right? So if you want to understand the secrets here that Rumi is talking about, you must be on that level. Bring your consciousness to that level. Bring your understanding to that level. Then you will understand what is going on here. So these are the couplets that were missing that I said I'll share with you. And let's see what else. The other one that's missing is this one here. Zero bam mein ek raaz chupa hua hai. He's saying that in this notes of the reed, there is a secret that's hidden, right? Saaf saaf bayan kar doon, to dunya dharam baram kar do. Rumi says, if I tell you that secret openly, the whole world will become destroyed. In both these matters, what the reed says, if I have to tell you the real thing, what the reed wants to say, if I tell it to you, in दोनों मामलों में बांसुरी जो कुछ कहती है, whatever it says, if I narrate to you, अगर मैं बयां कर दूं, if I tell you what the reed actually wants to say, दुनिया तबाह हो जाएगी. The world will not exist. Because he's talking about Musa alayhi salam on Tur Sina, what happened there? فلما تجلى ربه للجبل جعله دكا خر موسى صاعقا. So he's saying about those two things, the mountain crumbling and dancing, and Musa alayhi salam falling down unconscious. If I tell you the secret of the two things, what really happened, right? The world would cease to exist. I would destroy the world. Because when Allah revealed just a bit of His majesty to the mountain crushed into pieces, right? If the sun comes 2 meters closer to us, the whole world will burn out, right? So this secret, if I were to tell you, the world would cease to exist. So Rumi is saying that if you want to understand the secret, you can only experience it with your soul. It cannot be told. No one can show you. No one can tell you. It cannot be encapsulated in words. You have to experience it for yourself. Let's see what else is missing. Yeah. So this couplet after this one is missing. So when love has no care for him, he is left like a bird without wings, right? Then he says, Rumi, हमारे बालों पर उसके इश्क की कमंद हैं. Our wings, right, are the link to his love. If you don't have the wings, there's no way you can reach ishq, because the wings are the link to the love that's going to take you to love. So the wings are the one that takes you and pulls you all the way to the beloved. Now he says, what can I say? Okay, that's one is the, you've done that one. Yeah. So your mirror is full of rust. That's why it does not reflect, right? But that mirror that is free of rust and that has no dirt on it and is clean and shining, वो खुदा के नूर के आफताब की शुआओं से भरा है. That mirror reflects the light of the beloved, right? And it's full of his noor. Then he says, ro, ro, ja, uske ruh se zang ko saaf kar. Go clean the mirror of your heart, right? And then after that, uske baad, us noor ko hasil kar. And after that, attain the light of the beloved, right? इस हकीकत को दिल के कान से सुन. Listen to this reality with the ears of the heart, because your physical ears cannot understand it. Listen with the ears of your heart, ताकि तू पानी और मिट्टी से बिल्कुल निकल आए, so that you can come out of this water and mud, water and clay structure that you are in. So you can come out from this water and clay structure that you are in. So this body, come out from it, come out of your senses and come to the ruh and feel the power. Listen with the ears of the heart to the realities and come out from this water and clay. And this last line that is missing also from the reed, Song of the Reed. Agar samajh rakhte ho, if you are an intelligent person, Rumi says, then to ruh ko rasta do. Give way to your soul. Don't block its path. Give way to the soul. Naam, uske baad shok se raste par chalo. And after that, walk with love on this path. On this path. So give way to your ruh to manifest itself in you and reflect its lights in your heart. And with love, walk on this path, right? With full desire and with full fervor and zeal and enthusiasm. Then only now it starts the hikayat of the king and the handmaiden, and we will come to that tomorrow, inshallah, because today was very intense. Alhamdulillah, we'll stop there. I'll pause the recording. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.